How's it going? I just realized I'm not 100% set up, but also it takes a moment for people to show up anyways, so perhaps I'll be fully set up by the time people actually show up. Here, let me run the script in the meantime. It's not going to take me a moment. I am basically there. Hey, look at that, I'm there. Alright, so, oh yeah, we still have our script going super fast. So what did we do yesterday? Oh, hold on, sorry, my music is too loud and it's distracting. Uh, Sorry about that. Okay, so yesterday we started on this transition, the transition from the mountains to the cave, which should show up shortly. Um, the thing that I realized yesterday is that we need a middle range of parallax. This weird, chunky brown middle range of parallax is our salvation, and then this other weird chunky layer in the foreground. Um, I guess, yeah. So yesterday I was describing this these chunks as canyon walls. Although it occurred to me, I think I'm actually gonna make it more just like the mountain range, like more like you're approaching a mountain. Like there are all those mountains in the background, and you're walking along this path, but I think it's going to be like the mountains are going to be, they're going to start feeling closer, and and then and then you'll probably pass other like cave like entrances before actually like entering a cave like entrance, which hopefully will communicate a little bit about it'll like forecast a little bit of, or no, foreshadow. That's what it is. It'll foreshadow a little bit of what's about to take place. So yeah, let's. It's just really, it's just really funny to watch it go at this speed. So I'm gonna just let it run at this speed for no particular reason. Um. So. Uh. What's happening to my face? So early in the morning, why am I yawning? Alright. I'm just gonna. So the art down there is gonna do a bunch of weird things, and I'm just gonna ignore it for now. um, Actually, no, I guess that's a weird. It's a weird place to put the. Like it. I have the art, like my window where I can actually see the art. I have it like at the bottom of the screen, like underneath where the art shows up on screen. But yeah, whatever. I'm just having it. I just have it there for now, so I can kind of like remind myself of what we're working on and what it looks like. So this brown chunk here is gonna be a little bit weird because this is like this is the this is mountains like closer up. This is like this layer, so this layer doesn't actually exist in the mountain range. There's no middle parallax layer. So we're introducing it somewhat out of necessity for this transition. And I don't know, I guess I'm going to start trying things and see like what looks good, because I don't know exactly like how I'm going to justify this transition. The one thing I do know is that it has to go at this angle. Like it has to elevate to this point. It has to start at this bottom corner, and it has to get up to this point fast. So it's going to be at a pretty steep angle. This way I have this on a separate layer, so that I should make this like an atrocious pink color, so that way, or not pink, I should make it some other atrocious color, so that way I'll thoroughly cover it up. So like that, I guess. That's really bright. Perfect. Alright, so deselect. So yeah, so now in order to thoroughly cover that, I need to oh yeah, for one thing I need to invent a new color, because yeah, this might be slightly awkward, because like the palette for the mountains is like, I just like picked random colors that I thought looked okay. So like the mountains in the back are like reddish, and the mountains in the foreground are like more orangish. But I guess if I'm gonna do a middle layer, I should probably like kind of split the difference. Probably. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's open the background layer, so we can pick those colors as well. I'm just gonna do the same thing here. This has to go all the way across, right? Yeah. Right, yeah, this has to go all the way across, basically. I mean, it doesn't have to, but no, it does. It's if we're just this thing has to stretch all the way across. So what is it? It's like the top 53 pixels we don't have to care about. It's the rest of the pixels that we have to care about. But whatever. I'm just gonna do like the same thing that we did over there. I'm just gonna take this layer and spill in this big obnoxious color, and then put it on the lower layer, so that way we just have to make sure we're covering that up. Alright, so deselect again. Right, and so okay, right, so to come up with a palette, let's borrow these colors, copy, paste. No, what are you doing? Move, thank you. And then borrow these colors, copy, and paste, and let's come up with some color in between tones, some like transitional whatevers. So alright, so this yeah, this is gonna be weird because it's gonna be changing the hue, saturation, and value, but whatever. So this one is 154971. This is 277483. So 15 to 24 is, or no, excuse me, 15 to 27 is a change of 12, so we'll want it to be 21. I'm gonna jot these down so that I can remember. So 21, so 49 to 74, that's a pretty big jump. Really? Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I did desaturate the background a lot. Alright, so, so it's like, if it was 50 to 75, that'd be 25. So 49 to 74 is probably also 25. Oh, you probably can't see the numbers on screen. I'm looking at these numbers up in the corner here. So plus 12, or minus 12, whichever. 74 minus 12 is what, like 62? Is that right? Yeah, 62. Sure. And then lastly, the value, 83 and 71, again 12, so 77, right? Maybe? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see what that looks like. So, yeah, 21, 62, 77. Let's see what this color looks like. What size is brush amazing? Let's use like size 6 for now. Alright, so that's like hypothetically a mid-tone, like a middle value between those other tones. Yeah, that's believable. Alright, now let's do the darker of the two. So, yeah. 15, 46, 62. Tristan, hey, how's it going? Hey. 15, 46. No, there's a bug with Twitch. You probably can't hear me explaining it. No, it's you. Uh, there's a bug with Twitch where sometimes you get no audio when you load a stream. Yep. Thank you, though. Because sometimes it is me, so it's always good to check. Alright, so I'm just color picking here. I'm introducing a new layer to the mountain range. We had the background layer and we had the foreground layer, but we never had a midground layer, so now we're inventing the midground layer because we need to do something. I'm doing well, thank you. It's been a long week. It's been the name of this stream today is what light at the end, because not only are we emerging from this cave that we've spent like most of the week buried under, and not only are we emerging out into the light, but it's also Friday, so I think I'm gonna go a little lighter at the end of the week here. So it's probably gonna be like a fun stream, not as heavy, not as intense. How are you? So alright, so 15, 46, 62, 27. Oh, the value doesn't change very much. That's funny. 27, 78, 69. So 15 to 27 is a jump of 12. Huh. 12 is the number of the day. So 15. Oh, right, because they stayed in the same value ranges. Alright, so again, it's 21. I'm just keeping notes here, slightly off screen, but I'm just jotting down these numbers as I say them out loud. Ooh, that sounds like fun. You're gonna get buff. You're gonna get strong, Tristan. You're gonna build some muscles. Urgh. Urgh. I don't know why muscles make growling noises, but apparently they do. Alright, so 46 to 78, that's a jump. Again. So wait, 46 to 78. Are these numbers that we used before? No, not exactly. Last time it was 49 to something something. So 46 to 78 though. That's it's like 4 below and 3 above, a split of 25. So it's gonna turn out to be a pretty close number. It's gonna be like 62-ish, but it's actually gonna be. Is it gonna be 62? That'd be funny. No. Wait, 46, 78. So it's 30. It's 30. What 30? 32 this time. Wait, 77. Oh, it varies slightly. Interesting. 32. 32 is 16. 16 plus 26 is 62. Ah, 62 again. Yay. Good times. Alright. I don't like arithmetic, which is why I do it slowly. I can do calculus, is what I have to remind myself whenever I'm really slow at doing arithmetic. I don't know. I just don't like it. We have computers to do that for us. Alright, and 62 to 69 is a difference of 7, so let's just add like 4 to 62, so 66. Alright, let's see what this color looks like. 21, 62, 66. 21, 62, 66. Alright, so these are our midtones. Look at those midtones. Look at those entirely sufficient midtones, which I'm just going to use now and not really care about any. Like maybe, I don't know, like maybe I want to spend more time refining that, but I'm just going to slap these down for now, and if I don't like it later, I can figure that out later. So let's just move this in the corner, because I'm not really going to use this. Not really going to be using this space. Like it's steep enough to jump like from this bottom corner up to here. I'm not going to jump all the way up to here. So I might use this corner though. So I'm just going to trim that down a little bit. At least to put a spacer between where I'm working and where we have that palette there. All right. So drawing time. Deselect. So I'm just going to draw out the rough shape, rough outline that we have here. I'm working on the correct layer, right? Yeah, it's the correct layer. Alright, so yeah, I don't actually want to touch the edge of the screen. So I should probably actually give myself a slight buffer, so that way if I eke in that direction by accident, it won't be as bad. Yeah, I used to play that game. That game with friends is like the best way to play that game, right? Because if you're not playing it with friends, it can get really frustrating. And I would often not play it with friends, because like in order to get good, you can't just play with your friends all the time. Like you have to, unless you have like a million friends that are online all the time, which I guess is feasible, but you got to practice at some point. And so then that was what I would always happen to me. Like I was always like, I want to get good so that when I play with my friends, I'm not dragging down the team. So I'll play solo queue, and then I would play solo queue, and I'm like, this is awful. I don't want to. I don't want to play with these terrible internet people. I want to play with friends. So yeah, whenever I was playing with friends, it was always like, I'm not good enough. And whenever I was playing with internet people, it's like they're not good enough. So I think I wanted to. I was thinking of extending. Actually, no, I shouldn't overdo it for starters. It should be like, oh, but wait, no, we can't dip down below this line either. So you do have to overshoot this line a little bit. So yeah, we can't go below this line. It's like, don't touch underneath this line tag, I guess. So I can basically just like switch to a big brush and like block in this whole shape, or just like mass select and block in this whole shape. The spoiler is that this whole shape has to be covered. Yeah, there's a lot. That game has a lot going for it, and then it also has a lot that's like, oh, I should be working on a different layer. Yeah, the game has a lot going for it, and then there's a lot that's also like difficult, I guess. It has a lot. It has a lot of great strengths and a lot of fundamental flaws too, which is why I didn't continue playing it past a certain point. Eventually, I did stop playing it. But yeah, they like I mean, it's doing great things for like esports. Like it's like the first game that people are really taking seriously as like an esport in this country, anyways. Like there've been popular esports in other countries for like a while now, but this is like the first one that's really taking off here, which is cool. You gotta give it a nod for that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this at the top layer and I'm gonna make it transparent, so it's like very faint. Just so that I'll probably move that again. Oops, I don't want to draw on that layer. Probably move it again once I have the outline drawn out, but that'll just help me be able to see the guideline that I'm working with so I know how deeply I can cut this before it will bleed. That's morbid. Why did I say that? So yeah, I don't have much wiggle room here because like I can't go above the top of the screen, and I don't even want to go to the top of the screen because like generally I don't want to use that space, but I guess I kind of have to because I have to give the impression like these are great forms. These are giant mountainous forms, and now you are very near to them. So I don't think I can really do this because if I keep zigzagging this, then so maybe I should go back to the more of a canyon-like approach. Because if I keep zigzagging this, I'll have to zigzag it all the way over to here. Which I guess isn't too far, but it's like far enough that like, just to like spec that out, like that's the extent that I can zigzag it. So like even if I'm clever about it, like and like don't make it like completely like samey looking, like I don't know, it has to make it all the way to there. That's a pretty heavy order, so I might be better off just going with like more of like a canyon type mouth. But that's like, when I say canyon type, I mean like more flat along the top, so like more like cliff type shape fullness. Well, what if I literally went that way with it and what if for starters I like the first thing you see that like juts out all of a sudden is like, oh yeah, what if like the first thing that juts out is like is like a ledge type of thing. It's like all of a sudden you have like a fairly like vertical, in fact, a very quite vertical. Oh, uh, hmm. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. Oh, uh, I could, I could actually make this like structural, like not like natural structure, but like man-made structure. Because man-made structures are boxy, whereas natural structures aren't. Because I was trying to think of like when does nature like pull a right angle in like stone formations, and the only thing I could think of was like can like canyon walls where like where like they kind of like go vertical and then just kind of like stop, like that sort of thing. Like that was the closest I could think of. But like it's a very small canyon because it's a canyon that or it's a very small one of these like cliff wall things because it fits on screen. Um, so this is like I don't know. This is one of the things I'm considering. But is it? Yeah, is it? But hmm. Well, okay. So here's a situation where we have like those like flat things, and we also have like a mountainous range, which is important, I think, because um, our mountain range is mostly like not like orthogonal. It's like more of the triangular mountainy shapes, like the upward pointing triangle mountain type shapes. So apparently those can coexist in nature, so that's good. So I don't know. This makes it look like the triangle mountains like exist above the like ground level, and then the canyon type stuff exists below the ground level. Huh. Interesting. Um, but also, I guess it's a little. I mean, we never explicitly declare like where the like what is the height value of like this ledge that we're walking along. Oh, and we have. Oh no, we don't have all of this. I was gonna say we have all of this to redefine it, but no, we actually only have. Not only do we only have this length here, but this doesn't actually show up first. This is not the this is not the first thing that shows up. So this thing that I'm working on in the middle layer here is actually this is basically the first thing you see of the transition. This is like how you. This is what like. This is the portent, foretelling the impending transition. um, so there's stuff like this where it's like steep, but then it also has like angliness to it. You can tell I'm a highly trained geologist with all these scientifically accurate terms I'm using. Um, huh. So, so the punchline is that you're walking along mountains and then you find a cave. Or the punchline is that you find a cave. The premise is that you're walking along this mountain. The punchline is that you find a cave. So, sorry. Google Images gives some interesting results sometimes. Um, so, uh, sorry. um, so, yeah, what should I do? Should I just go with because like I think the man-made structure would be a little more like out of the blue, but it'd be easiest to deliver on because I can just very clearly define it. Or maybe I should split the difference. Because like inside the cave itself, there are these parts. They're more in the background, so you don't really see them very clearly. But there are these parts that like they kind of look like they're very structural. Like they're very like most of the shapes are very squared off and very. They're kind of it's behind here. It Oh, you can't even see where my cursor is. It's like it's behind like. Anyways, it's in there, and so I could kind of do that sort of thing, or just like even like this wall texture that we see in the front here, like where it's like blocky. We have yeah. So now I'm balancing like the difference between what makes the most sense, like what's going to be the clearest and most sensible thing for the player to see at this point, and what can I deliver on. What can I, as a untrained artist, deliver on? So I don't think the zigzaggy thing is going to work. I think I can be fairly certain that the zigzaggy thing is not going to work. So should probably get rid of that as a consideration. Oops. I accidentally clicked on my other monitor somehow. I don't even know how I did that. What the heck? I'm like sharing the same mouse between two computers, and I think sometimes it... Oh, it's because I put my tablet. It's because I put my stylus too close to the tablet. Oi. I need a bigger tablet, or bigger stylus. One that's so big that when I rest it on my tablet by accident, the stylus, the pointy part, doesn't actually activate the tablet or something. Alright, so blocky shapes? Like arbitrary blocky shapes, I guess. Let's try arbitrary blocky shapes. We've been drawing them a lot, so we should be able to draw these pretty well. Yeah, so the first step is just to... It's basically just to fill this in. So let's do that. Oops, not that far. Does not want to go quietly or calmly through this. I don't have to be super delicate because these are in separate layers, so we can always tidy up that edge when I get to it. And I think I do need to make that edge very tidy. I think this needs to be like a... This whole setup that I'm doing is an elaborate scheme so that I don't actually have to make a real transition between because there is no... I don't know. It's basically I basically have these like ugly seams that I'm putting in because it's easiest to just leave in these ugly seams, and then I'm just hiding it. So that is the unsightly part, and this is like the rug that we were throwing over the top. Alright, so blocky shapes, and I guess they don't have to be that high. They really don't have to be higher than this green block whatever thing. Alright, so blocky shapes then, huh? Let's see what that does. So I'm just going to hide our guideline for now. And I'm also going to start a new layer. I don't know, I'm just going to start a new layer for no particular reason. Alright, I can bring down the brush size a little bit. It's like 6, or like 4, I guess. Because I guess I do kind of want this to be on the same scale as the middle layer that I was working on previously. So, alright, so now let's work with the darker color to establish like depth and whatnot. So, this will always be behind that path that we see scrolling along the bottom of the screen. Like this will always be behind this layer. So we don't really have to worry about the bottom part of it. Oh yeah, so that's good to know. So yeah, let's so what exactly don't we have to worry about? Select all, copy, new layer, all the layers, paste. Alright, yeah, we only have to care about it for this half, and sorry, I'm just gonna put my face a little close to the camera for a second. Alright, so deselect, it's like this this path always covers up everything from like in this area here. So like this whole area we don't have to care about. So it's yeah, alright, so on our guideline layer, let's make note of that as well. I'll make it like a blue. I guess I can use a pink color for this. I don't want to use a pink color for the other thing because I didn't want to accidentally encroach on the chroma key, whatever, but for this I think we're okay. What the heck? Would it? I'm freaking spilling paint here. Excuse me, sir. Oh, it's on 0 opacity? Whatever. Weirdo. Alright, so yeah, we don't have to worry about that portion at all. Is it? Why does it look like it's not? I don't know, whatever. Oh, it really didn't. Oh, right, because that's where the green ends. Okay, anyways. Anyways. Alright, cool. So now we know what we do have to cover and what we don't have to worry about. Oh, I should have put that on a separate layer. I should put this on a separate layer so that I can hide them separately. Yeah, so oops, just kidding. Just kidding. Back it up. Back it up. Alright. Nope. No. Stop. Stop doing weird things. Alright, so new layer, completely new layer altogether. Now I can just use this layer. What? No, I didn't want to deselect. I want... Weirdo. Fine. Instead of using the spill, I'll use a rectangle tool. If you insist on being weird. Alright, and then invert selection. And then we can just get rid of all that stuff. Alright. Yeah. Alright, so now we have this guideline layer as well. And I will also turn down the opacity so I can still see what I'm doing and just not worry about what's there. Actually, I guess I could just put this on the other layer. Nah, whatever's fine here. And I don't have to drop the opacity so much because what's underneath this literally doesn't matter. Alright, there we go. Alright. Good then. So, alright, now let's start adding in that detail. That detail I keep talking about. What is this layer? I don't remember what's in the top layer. Oh, this is the layer I was about to draw on. Right. Alright, so let's go to this layer. Pick this color. Go up to this layer. And now we're good to go. Brush size 4. Alright, so hypothetically, like what we were doing before is like we're just like, what now? What? I went to the correct layer to pick the color, didn't I? Oh no, I didn't. Alright, put this in the top layer. That's okay, that was the difference. Alright. So go to the correct layer this time. Pick the color. Go to this layer. Now we're ready to go. We're G2G. Alright. I don't know why I undid that one. Alright, so maybe we have this edge. We don't have to have this edge. Again, we can use this space. Like we could have like, you know, we could instead of having that edge, we could actually have like extend out like this or whatever if we wanted to. Maybe we will. I was thinking maybe I could put like a collapsed pile of rocks like I tend to, but if there were like collapsed looking rocks, it might look like an avalanche coming through. And maybe that's okay. Maybe it's open to interpretation. Are you hiding in the cave because you came upon a cave, or like are you going in the cave because you came upon a cave, or are you hiding in the cave because there's an avalanche? No, that'd probably be weird. It's not going to look like an avalanche because it will be going slower than the foregrounds. All right. Oh, and it's not called an avalanche. It's called a rock slide. Avalanche is the snowy one, I think. Anyways. All these things and more. So, yeah, so I guess I can work my way up to it. So we can have like a rock and like another rock, another big rock shape. This one can be behind the other shapes, I guess. And oh yeah, we're outside, so we have a very light shading. We tend to shade very lightly out here, like whereas indoors, like everything was very like very dark shading to it. Outdoors, it's actually like mostly unshaded, which is actually really true. It's like mostly unshaded. So, if I'm gonna go this way with it, then I want to define these shapes like so. Bigger brush, please, for a moment. Define these shapes like so. Because yeah, the only indoors do we actually like get a little more heavy with the shading. Because indoors we don't have the bright sun beaming down on top of us. Alright, so again, brush size 4, the top layer. We don't actually have these lines. We don't have these lines at all. If we wanted to pick that shape, we do it as like kind of like such. I mean, again, that's off the screen, so we don't actually have to care about that. And yeah, again, how do we? I mean, I guess we'll use a narrow line to delineate like between shapes when shapes are overlapping, because we didn't really do that before. But oh, and actually we can have a little shading. Whoops, wrong color, yeah. Nope, wrong color again. Alright, there we go. We have a little shading here. This big rock. Go to this layer, color pick, etc., etc. Alright, and then yeah, so then right, so in this layer, I instinctively I drew the outline because that's how we'd been doing it in the cave, but we actually don't have that at all. We just don't have this here. The only form lines are on like the right and the bottom edges, not on the upper edges, and not on the left edges. So yeah, but we can still use like mostly the same sort of language, and we can go a little bit heavier with the shading here, because like this is like on the like if the light source is coming down from like the up here, like this wall almost like, I don't know, we can imply that like maybe the light source is slightly behind the wall a little bit, so there's like, it's like the light comes down and there's shading here because of the angle of this. I don't know, we can cheat it a little bit if we need to use shading to define like depth and stuff like that. Alright, so yeah, then so then we can actually have shading here. Starting here, this is like the legit shading area. So like, what if this rock, or what if this shape is like so, and like the way we've been doing it in the cave, like we have these little like shape lines or whatever, just like give it like, I don't know, a little bit of form. And I should still go relatively light on the shading because I don't want to overdo it. And so yeah, it's basically just like drawing out shapes like these. Like, I don't know, this one can be like inset a bit, so maybe there's actually like a extent to which we get like, well, this wouldn't be a line. Maybe there's an extent to which we like get like a slightly inset area here. That's weird. That's a weird way to start, I think. It's probably a weird way to start. Oh no, I know what's weird about that. It's weird that like, yeah. So I'll give it a minute before I get weird like that. So for starters, let's just say this is like fairly blocky, and like this is like another blocky stone shape. Alright, so then Oh yeah, I mean one thing that I'll want to do, like I won't do it now because uh, I don't feel like switching back and forth between layers constantly, but like we can chip in the edges. Like this doesn't have to be a completely flat like surface along the top. In fact, oh yeah, oh right. So we're pretty close to the we're pretty close to that green edge. Oh, we're not too close. And now that it's in the background, I'm gonna bump up the opacity again, so it's really noticeable if we accidentally hit it. But oops, all right. Bump up the opacity. So it's really noticeable that if we accidentally hit it, but oops, wrong there. All right, here we go. But we do have a little give, so we can like notch in the edges to like distinguish between these shapes. But again, I'll probably wait till the end to do that. So yeah. So what if now? I guess I could have one. I could have one more pronounced, like one that like comes further forwards. I honestly don't know how this effect is gonna. So I should do this. I should do this quickly because I'm probably not gonna be 100% thrilled with the results. So let's say we have one that like comes, oops, not like that. One that comes like a little further forwards. So like maybe it comes a little further forwards and like fans like down at an angle a little bit. So it has like, excuse me, it's like. I guess it's weird that it would shade like that. I guess technically, if anything, it would shade like that. But for now, I'll just, oh yeah, it is weird that I'm shading these edges, not like, if anything, it should be like that edge. Oh yeah. I think that's actually a true statement. Whoops. Oh, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Derps. Alright, here we go. For reals this time. Alright, yeah, I was gonna do something not like that. Oh, wait. Oh. Alright. So now if I'm gonna draw these textures. No. Texture lines on this side actually imply dented outwardsness, not dented inwardsness. So I guess I can do whichever. I can do whichever I feel like. Why am I seeing this as dented inwardness? I don't know. Maybe because of the way I did the line width. Again, I really shouldn't be caring about this right now, but yeah, let me just dent outwards, please. Maybe it's just one of those optical illusions where, like, if I tell my brain it's dented outwards, it'll dent outwards. Anyways. Yeah, good. My brain works. Anyways. So yeah, let's just block in a bunch of this stuff like faster, because I might be deleting like basically all of this and starting on a different approach instead. So maybe this one's slightly dented inwards or something. And then I also want to. I can do like a little bit of shading there, and then also, oh yeah, so then the other thing I was going to do is like stack rocks here. Oh, except, right, I don't define rocks by the upper form, I define them by the lower form, so, but no, this one's slightly shadowed, so I can do that here, and then just like leave a little bit of shadow coming up this edge here, and then I can breach the top again. No, form on form. I think I'm gonna cheat it and use like thin lines here. Whatever, I don't care. I'm going rogue. Wait. If this was like a shape. Oh yeah, if this was like a shape, then. Sorry, I'm just kind of like retconning what this actually. I'm like retroactively deciding like what this shape actually means. So I'm actually going to angle it slightly outward. Not that that's important. I'm going to cut this slightly inward. And, Oh yeah, no, no, I know what I'll do. I will move this over. So this one will be dented inwards. So maybe I'll change that one. Yeah, no, this will be dented in. So like this. Oh no, I know what I want to see here. I know what I want to see here. I want to see. I want to see this. I want to just see like an area. Oh wait. Yeah. What am I seeing here? Just like a. I don't actually know. Yeah, yeah. Okay, wait. Right. So then I'll break this line, and then I'll break this line. Actually, yeah. All right. I know what I'm saying. Okay, I know what I'm trying to see here. Break this, and then break that, and then using this color, just like implied depth. This is basically what I'm trying to do. So, all right, yeah. So now these forms are a little less. Oh yeah, except this isn't actually a line. Well, it's kind of a line, because it's a line up to the edge of this boulder, or like becomes a line where it overlaps that boulder. So whatever, I'll just leave it like that. Nah, I guess I don't need it. Alright. So anyways. Bamzoo. Hey, I don't know why that took me a second to read. How are you that good 2D gamer? Well, thank you, Bamzoo. The trick is, I am terrible at 2D game art. Here, wait, hold on, I'll prove it. So like a couple weeks ago, actually no, it was probably like a month ago at this point, because it was earlier. The first draft of the 2D art for this project was, and I kid you not, this is like I don't know, a very short time ago. Where is it? Projects. I might have deleted it. No, I probably backed it up somewhere. Where is it? Journey. Yeah. So this is the first version of the character art. It's like, actually, wait, did I have a version before this? Yeah. This is like one of the first versions of the character art, and like, this is one of the first versions of the character art. Like, I'm not good at character. I'm not good at art. I don't know. I'm not very well practiced, and so it takes me a long time, I guess, is the trick to it. I just spend a lot of time on it. Like, I've spent a lot of time on this art to get it. All right, well, yeah, so a few things I guess I would say is that I wouldn't stress too much about it, because like art only matters so much. Like, I mean, like, if you think back to the history of video games, like, video games when they first became popular, had terrible art. Like, they looked atrocious. But like, even though some of those early games are still fun, because like, if you make a good game, it doesn't completely matter what it looks like. Like, good game art can like make a mediocre game into a really good game, but even with like mediocre art, you can have a really good game. So uh, yeah, and then so eventually, if you just keep making mediocre art, eventually you'll start making good art, because that's how we get better at things, is just by doing it. Thank you very much, though. Yeah, if you like, all week I've been working on like the cave stuff that we saw a second ago, and it's tough because I don't consider myself an artist, and so putting myself to it, and like sitting down and like making art, it's like, ugh. It's really easy to get discouraged, but it's also really important not to get discouraged, because if you don't get discouraged, then your mediocre art will eventually, like we were saying, your mediocre art eventually becomes good art. So the trick is to keep at it, and even if you're not thrilled about it right now, like, I think I'm literally better at drawing caves today than I was like several days ago. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I actually don't plan on doing too much more to the game, just because it's supposed to be like a small project. I've been working on it for a couple months now, and I was actually planning on finishing it in like a matter of weeks when I first started the project, but I have spent a little more time on it, and it's yeah, I'm hoping it'll be fun pretty soon in the near future. We'll be able to give it a shot. Oh, and that's the other thing. All right, so this, yeah, right, all right. So the other thing is oh, sorry, I'm like flitting between topics, but I was like, I was like just thinking to myself, like, why do these bricks look so flat? And it's because I think it's because I angled them funny, or like I was only showing like the front surface of them. So hopefully it looks slightly less flat, and I don't know, maybe hopefully by the time, oh no, I know what I should do. I should make it. I should give it more depth. So like, there's this rounded rock or whatever, and I don't know exactly what's happening there. but, but here, let's do this. What layer? This layer. Uh, Pick this color and do just like a weird one, like jutting in at like, maybe not at that angle, but like just like jutting in at this angle. Maybe not that high either. Just like, yeah. And then, oh, and then I guess these actually become lines because that's how that's how I'm doing it. I only draw in these lines when there would be overlap or shading. So now these actually are lines. And yeah. And then what is that shape in the background? Does it have any other definition? Does it have any more definition than that? What would it look like if I tried to... Nah, I might just leave it like that. Almost. I might reshape it slightly, but leave it roughly like that. Whoops. Just is not quite so angled. And then restore that chip of the boulder that I accidentally erased. Alright. Alright, and then I'll just like kind of go on from here. Cool. So for this top edge, yeah, maybe I'll bring back the green screen. Maybe I'll just like, yeah, for now I'm just gonna, yeah, okay, so for now I'm just gonna, alright, layer 3, then bring the green screen back on top. I'm gonna make it transparent again. And actually I should probably invert it so it's not green over the thing that I'm drawing, it's green over like the stuff that I don't need to be drawing. Yeah, probably. Let's do that real quick. Oops, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Alright, so color dropper, pick, edit, invert, oops, not fill selection. Edit, invert selection, what? Oh, did I accidentally deselect? Undo, wait, what? Oh, there we go. Edit, invert selection, there we go. Spill, I said. Wait, what? Oh, alright, spill. You can do it, I swear. Edit, invert selection, and then delete. Alright, there we go. So now the green screen covers the outside area, and because like this inner boxy area here is the stuff that we really have to care about, not counting the pink space. Alright, so, and yeah, right, so the other thing I'm going to do is just for now, on layer 3, I'm just going to basically just put in a sheet of this brownish tone. If I hit backspace, wow, yeah, backspace is like autofill. That's cool. Deselect, and then just a little bit schmumpy edges there. Schmumpy edges, fix those. Alright, cool. Alright, and now I'm just gonna, so I have a guideline. I know I have to stay above this line, this divide. Well, actually, I don't know, my eyes just like inverted it, so now like the outside area looks like the normal color, and this looks like a slightly reddish area, but we just have to make sure we fill this slightly reddish area with volume. And now that I've done that, it occurs to me I'm going to actually basically undo all of that. No, what am I gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna undo what I just did. Only just that though, because I'm going to export a version of this and see how it looks. See if I'm even going in like a reasonable direction. Alright, so what do? I kill. So like murder. No, I'm adding new layers. I'm not destroying layers. Murder. Murder the green layer. Smoosh these layers. Deselect and erase this stuff in the sky here. Actually, I can actually permanently erase the stuff in the sky here. I don't need it anymore. And then smoosh these layers. And then file, save as, mountains, trans cave, no, save it as a ping, bg1.ping, and yeah, alright, so now I'm going to rerun the script and see how this looks. I mean, I might be able to leave the script running, because I was actually already in the mountains right then, but, so basically, like this, when this transition begins, this is the first thing that we see, and it's going to come in, like there's no middle layer to the parallax now. There's like the rocks in the foreground, and there are the mountains in the background, but there's nothing in between them. And so this might look a bit weird and abrupt, because it's just going to kind of like come in from nowhere a little bit. We will find out very soon. I'm really hoping that my reaction to this is just like, that looks good enough. Like, doesn't look too weird. Could look weirder, doesn't look too weird. Alright, so one thing that's standing out to me is that I'm using a more detailed style of the cave, and I'm applying it to the mountain range. So there's a weird contrast where like we're introducing like this higher detail space, or this higher detail structure into a lower detail space, and that looks weird. So my options here are to revamp the mountains so that they're more detailed, or to use a lower detail shape here. And I think, considering how brief that transition really is, like considering how for such a short time this actually shows on screen, I think I'm just going to do something a lot quicker actually, because now I don't actually have to render out these shapes. I can just kind of like slap out like, okay, here's like some rocks, or here's like a mound of dirt. And then just kind of like call that a day. So it's probably gonna be a little weird. It's probably just gonna be a little weird. And I might actually be going more towards that zigzaggy approach that I was pretty sure wouldn't work. But maybe that zigzaggy approach, despite the fact that it'll look weird, might be the less weird of the options. Sorry, 1 second. Excuse me. Alright, so yeah, that goes by. So like the thing that is really apparent to me now is that this goes by really fast. So actually no, it's not. Oh, right. That's not true. It goes by really fast here. So in the grand scheme of things, this goes by relatively fast. Although if I have everything cranked into turbo, so it actually will show for a lot longer when I have it running at regular speed. But yeah, I just have to take cues from like the blocky shading situation we have going on in these mountains and these rocks. I can be slightly more detailed than the mountains in the background because there's a little bit of detail in the mountains in the foreground, but I can't be this detailed because right now the middle layer is the most detailed, and then the front layer has a little bit of detail, and then the back layer has like almost no detail. So it has to be, the front layer has a little bit of detail, so like I can't even put that much detail. Or the front layer has a little bit of detail, so I can't. Don, hey, welcome. How's it going? The front layer has a little bit of detail, and so I can't put more detail in the mid layer, like barely any, not even as much as in the front layer, and there's barely any in the front layer. All right, so that was good. I didn't waste too much time on all that stuff. So yeah, I can like, yeah, I can just undo, 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 undo. I'll bring back my guidelines. And then, yeah, and then, from here I can just get rid of, where is it? It's on this layer, I think. This stuff here. And then, pretty much start over with this stuff. Oh, although I do have to pick the color because I just deleted my swatch. Deselect, we just don't want to use this color, but pretty much everything on this layer we can start over. And actually we probably don't even need separate layers at this point. I can probably just do it right on this layer here. So yeah, I can keep like the same shape. Like I could even use keep these shapes here if I wanted to. The thing is I just can't render them in detail. So, but I can't leave this entire block like just completely flat. Like this whole area, like here, I can't leave that completely flat. So I have to, yeah, I just have to do like very vague shapes. Like I can't do more detail than that. Like just, oops, oh yeah. All right, so I will do this on a separate layer. Oops, wait, what? Why did it do not? Oh, because I was using the eraser tool. Alright, so I could use like very primitive shapes. Very primitive, no detailing whatsoever. So like if I wanted to, essentially if I want to re-render the same thing, I could be like that, and I could be like, oh well, that boulder went in the background last time. Why is there this gap here? Oh, because this used to be shading. So I could go like, I don't know, the boulder's like in the foreground now for no particular reason. So I could go like, not even like that, like, I don't know. Alright, wait. This is gonna be so brutish, but like brutish by design. So if I wanted like big like rock shapes, yeah, I guess I just have to like have bigger rock shapes. Like they can't be as distinct. So I can have like cracks like that, I think, and get slightly more detailed than this. I can put in slightly more detail than this. Like yeah, it's just all right. So I can still depict basically what I was like trying to depict before. I just have to do it in the style of the mountains. I was doing it in the style of the cave, and that's just not gonna fly. All right, so yeah, pretty much the same thing as before. So do I want to put in that like weird sky blocking, whatever? Oops, do I want to put in like the? Yeah, I'll fill in the because I can still do shape here, so I'll just fill in the sky again on this layer. Oops. Backspace. Is that the wrong color? That's too dark, right? That's the darker of the two colors. No, that's the lighter of the two colors. Alright. Yeah. And then... yeah, alright. So this should go quicker. Apart from the fact that I'm not as alright, hypothetically this should go quicker except for the fact that I'm not as comfortable using this rendering style, so... oh, I don't know what I should do for the top layer. Maybe I'll draw in the top layer. and then just erase it later. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. It's like, all right, so maybe that's like how the shape goes, and then maybe there's like a big like rubble pile here. Oh, except we can't go below that line. So there's a big rubble pile. Yeah, but we can still go up to that line. Actually, no, I'll continue blocky shapes a little bit longer. So maybe there's like a blocky shape that's like oblong and weird. Then how does it like resolve down here? I guess like, I don't know, is that legit? And then we can start the rubble pile here. So now there's like a. So, oh right, yeah, because we can't. Right, yeah, I was gonna do those definition lines, but we can't even do really those really. So like that's. I mean, like ultimately, there's basically just gonna be like nothing in this space here. So actually, maybe I should put in like a little more, like bring it up a little, so there's at least like something going on here, and it doesn't look like just completely blank. Bam, how's it going? Yeah, I do have a good amount of experience in game development. I've worked in game development for 7 years now, so almost 7 years. Yeah, pretty close to 7 years, and yeah, I like it. It's yeah, my background is actually just in generic software programming, not like in like game programming specifically, but I mean, yeah, just by learning how to make like any general software, like just general software principles. Whoops, wow, what is happening? I was not even touching my tablet when that happened. I just applied what I learned to games, and then I didn't work in programming for 7 years. I worked for 6 years. I was just doing like everything in game development, and then and now I'm getting back to like now that I was working at like a major studio, and now that I'm back to working like more independently. Those rocks are just like floating. I should probably put them on the ground. Now that I'm working independently, I'm back to like, oh yeah, and I really shouldn't be rendering each of these things individually. I guess I'm just kind of like specking it out, and then I'm gonna basically just like turn this into rubble in a second. So it's basically all we're gonna see is like the round shapes. We're not gonna see the upper shapes. So it's just gonna be like defined entirely by like that, and none of it by like these top shapes at all. Get rid of them. Well, I guess this one kind of has the definition of the top shape because it's surrounded by the shapes, but like yeah, these ones. Yeah, kind of like that sort of thing. And then we do have to extend this all the way up to the top though. So what's at the top behind this? I guess like just bigger and bigger boulders, right? I don't know. No, I'll just like. Oh wow, yeah, this is gonna be a little tricky, I guess. All right, so I'll actually spec out these boulders, I guess. That's so like second grade. Do you have a question, Don, or are you just expressing a lack of understanding? Alright, actually, yeah, I really shouldn't do this like completely like inch by inch approach because it's gonna lead to like a very well, I guess actually that could be okay. It's gonna basically put like everything to the left is going to be in front of everything to the right, which I guess could be okay, but I don't necessarily want to do it that way. So yeah, hold on, let me redo this chunk. Do I recommend getting graphics? Oh yeah. So yeah, feel free to ask Don if you have a question. So for example, Bamzoo asks, do you recommend getting a graphics tablet for game art? I got this for $50 online, and like I don't use it very often, but it's definitely worth $50 because when I do need to use it, it's just a much better life if you're working with a tablet versus just trying to do all your, especially 2D art with a mouse. I don't know how it is for 3D art. Like there might be some 3D art that you can do. Like it might be that for 3D modeling and stuff. I actually don't know how that works. But for 2D art, definitely. Uh, Sorry, my music stopped. I'm gonna cue up my music again. Oh no, it's just in a song with like a really dramatic long pause. Whatever. All right, so shapes that extend above this line. All right, so there's look at this. That's a big one, and then I don't know, maybe there's this other one. That's either I don't know. That's ambiguously in front of or behind this other one. I guess we won't know because like neither of these are shaded lines. And then I guess this can be where like the pile starts to like break down a little bit. And that one's floating in the air, so we have to make sure it's not floating in the air. So it has to. I don't know. These are again ambiguously in front of or behind. Although I guess at some point I'll have to decide which of those two it is. How far do we have to go? Not that far. All right. So I'll just do like this rubble pile, and this rubble pile will turn more structural, and that will be it. That'll be the whole thing. Alright, so this rubble pile does have to extend down below this pink line. It doesn't have to have anything meaningful below the pink line, but it does have to extend at least to the pink line. Like to be covering the pink line. $50 in pounds is what, like 40? Or no, pounds. I don't know about pounds. I think it's like, wouldn't it be like 40 something euros? I don't know if that helps. I actually don't know what pound conversion is. Pounds are things are higher numbers when in pounds, right? Like, so if it was 50 in US dollars, it'd be like 70 in pounds. I don't know. Google knows. I bet if you punch into like Google or something, or like some conversion calculator, you could find out in not much time. So here's another big one. They don't all have to be round. I don't know why I'm making them all like round. Alright, so I should start. Oh, okay. Hey, I was close. I said 70, so 65 is pretty close. Oh, wow. Oh, I was way off. Whoop. Well, I'm not a global economics person. I find that stuff almost actively disinteresting. So Don got turned. Don got turned the wrong way. All right, so this rubble pile will just kind of, or actually it won't fade out just yet. There'll be a little bit more of it into the background, and then but then like ultimately what's going to happen here is there's going to be, oh well, no, this is long enough. It's gonna get structural again. Oh yeah, actually, you know what we haven't done yet is the striated texture. So maybe I should yeah, maybe I'll slide this all down a bit. We're not converting from pounds to euros. We're converting from dollars to pounds. I'm the one that said euros. Alright, so I know this is just a mess of circles, but it's my mess of circles, so I'm going to hold on to it, but I am going to move it also. I'm going to move it. Hey, new follower! Sorry, all my stuff is covered up. Hunter Chubbs, welcome to the party. Thank you for following. I appreciate your viewership and your support. For painting, I'm just using it's called paint.net. It's free, and I wouldn't recommend it because I know that I want to use a different program. The only reason I'm using it is because I'm not doing much more with this art. So for the purposes of this art, I'm basically, hey, new follower, Bamzoo, welcome, thank you for following. I appreciate your viewership and your support. Yeah, there are other like free options out there. Oh, like shoot, I'm not gonna remember the name of it. Maybe autocomplete in my browser will remember the name of it. I think it starts with a K. No. It starts with an R. No. Shoot. There was this other. There's this one that was recommended. Am I a wizard? Yeah. Yep. um, yeah, maybe someone else will have a better recommendation. Oh, I think technically Photoshop is not free. It's just that they stopped running the license validation, so you don't need a license in order to run it. But I don't think like if you think I think if you asked Adobe like, "Hey, is Photoshop free?" They wouldn't say yes. They would say no, in fact. So, I don't think you're actually supposed to do that. Although as you point out, you can do that. Uh I might be wrong. I just remember that like when it was like a what was it like a year or two ago when they first stopped running the validator, everyone was like, "Hey, Photoshop is free," and then Adobe was like, you guys, actually." uh, so maybe they changed their mind since then, but I just remember initially that was uh, right. No, Bamzoo, please follow along. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So they did change it. All right. Well then. Well then. Well, yes, you can download it from. Yes, you can download it from. All right. I'm not gonna talk about that. Because I don't care. It's also awful. If you go back and use Photoshops that old, they're awful. They're so. That was before people cared about like user experience in software. So sorry. What I mean by saying they're awful is that it's an awful experience because you have to use like you have to use software from back when software developers didn't care about people. Back when software developers hated people. So yeah, if you like really hateful software, then go do that. Go use that one. It's super effective and you will hate your life. Uh, wait, what? Eraser, eraser, eraser. Why did you? Why have you abandoned me, eraser? Is that on the wrong layer? Why is this eraser not doing anything? I'm on the correct layer. What? What is it? So here's an example of why I don't recommend this software. It's like, what the heck are you doing right now? Like the mouse isn't working. My tablet's not working. Just life. Life is not working right now. Like none of the tools are working right now. Does this tool work? This tool works for some reason. Oh, did I have? Oh, I probably had like a weird selection off screen. All right. All right. Back on track. We're back on track, you guys. All right. So yeah. So we're gonna stay more like structural for a minute before we get yeah. Some people have recommended GIMP as another solution. I haven't used. I used to like GIMP, but then one time I downloaded like a really bad version of GIMP, and it turned me off to the whole idea. But they were good at once, and who knows, they could be good again. Maybe they're good right now. I don't know. So I guess I don't know. I can like. I just want to just like keep repeating this shape. So like, what should I be doing instead? How can I be? Oh, I could like make it like a. Oh wait, no, I tried. Right. So wait. So maybe like. All right. So no, I think I remember why I switched over to more freeform shapes so fast. All right. So I'll just do like stacked blocks because like I don't know really what else to do here. So like it'll just be like. It'll just be like I don't know like this I guess basically, and I don't know it might be a little bit indistinct, but this is what I can do with what I have afforded myself in this manner. And actually I guess I could probably like do some like slightly rounded shapes just like break up the monotony a little bit. I should probably be using a bigger brush. I should probably be using like I should be using like a 6er at least. Something like that. I don't know. Again, like all this stuff on the top is actually going to get erased. Back when once I put in the framing stuff. So yeah, more boxy shapes because boxy shapes, why not? I don't know. Whatever. So I can have like a flatter boxy shape. Oh, except it can't actually go that far down. I mean, it can go this far down. Oops. Because this shape is like slightly askew, so I want to do like more of a straighter like, and then I guess I'll just have to put like a crack like arbitrarily like in the middle of it for no particular reason. Although this should be a really big one too, so maybe I won't do it yet. Maybe I'll like, hey Masher, how's it going? Welcome. The pink line at the bottom, right? So this is the middle layer. So like the parallax that you have going in the background, you see going in the background, like there are trees like going fast in the foreground, and there are trees going like slowly in the background, and then there are trees going at like a middle speed in the middle ground. So this what I'm working on now is a middle ground layer, and so we'll always be seeing this layer on top of it, like this kind of light layer of like just low like rocks in the foreground will always be on top of it. And so because the lowest point of this layer is still this high, we don't actually have to do anything in this whole pink region, because this pink region, technically it'll load and like technically it's there and everything, but it's actually 100% completely covered at all times by the layer in front of it. So I stopped caring about my lines at that point, because I don't have to, like, technically there's like volume and shape down there that I should consider, but Synthopia, welcome. How's it going? Uh, uh, Also, hey to ESQ2 official, by the way. You kind of showed up in the middle of the conversation. I never said hey, but welcome. Uh, yeah, so right, there are these two like tonal changes. This bottom pink shade, which is very bright, is I don't have to care about anything that's underneath the pink, and I have to care about everything that's in this middle range, because this middle range is, I'm using this middle range to cover up the transition for the background, and then the upper range, like the upper range will be visible, but it's not pertinent because it's not covering anything up. It's just it's completely aesthetic, so I can just do whatever I want in the top range. Yeah, that's what, and I just keep those guidelines on so that I don't accidentally spend too much time um, working on the bottom part, and I don't accidentally uh, reveal what's happening in the middle range here. All right, so I think I'm gonna like kind of segue into from what I'm doing here into like a more of like a this other stuff that we have going on over here. Oh wow, we're almost there. Yeah, I can just do this shape and then push this back against it, and then justify this shape, and I think we're basically done at that point. So all right, so but nah, I won't get weird. I mean, all right, I will do like slightly less boxy shape here, but it will still be fairly straightforward, and this is the one that's going to have like a major crack in it, because I wanted to put another textural element, but in order to put a textural element with this very like vague level of detail, it has to be like a very significant shape in order to do that, and this is not super great, but we'll see what we can do. This might not read, so I might have to just take this out. It might not look right, because we're cutting out this whole top line. Like these lines on the top are just there for me to remember like what I'm trying to accomplish here. They're not actually going to stay here, so that'll be interesting. And I guess I'll put one more boxy shape in the front area here. So actually, yeah, this doesn't actually show up. Yeah, something like this. And then, alright, yeah, so then this is what we have going on over here. We can push back against stuff. Oops. Deselect. This we can, well, alright, I'll slide this over. I'm gonna accidentally cover up some of the stuff that I just drew, but I can just redraw it real quick. All right, and yeah, there we go. Good to go. G2G. Oh, do I want to? Wait, this is where. No, this is just where we see more stuff pop in the front range. So this, I was like, do I want to change how this looks? But no, this is fine how it is. Because the next thing that we do after this is in the front range, we have this whole green area. We also have to do this for. Like, just like, so this green area here represents this mid-range here. Like, this green area, we need this covered up because this is going to cover up. So while this, yeah, I guess I do have them all open. So while this, this region here is going to be covering up this unsightly seam, this whole green region here is going to be covering up this unsightly seam, because this cutoff here is kind of like actually going to happen. Like, it's actually just going to go from like this rocky exterior to this like cave-like interior, and it just has to. I don't know. It's because we're transitioning from outdoors to indoors, and we're actually only transitioning on the front layer, because on every other layer, the background only indicates like what we were seeing in the background outdoors, and then what we're now seeing in the backgrounds indoors. There's not actually like a blend to it. Like, we just the graphics down there just transitioned from the forest to the mountains, and that was all exterior, so there actually were transitions. Hey Tom, how's it going? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I said Tom. I didn't say Tom Peach HD because I I am a sentient creature. I just don't always act as such at all times. Like, I'm a creature capable of learning, but wait, should I cut off too much? Yeah, I cut off 1 pixel too many. Oops. So wait. Oh yeah, I still cut off 1 pixel too many. Oh, so that red region isn't quite covering everything it could. Really? Huh. Yeah, apparently not. Anyways. So for this layer, oops, not that. For this layer, we can also go up against this edge, and I think I actually want to make sure that this, like, I think I want to make sure this seam is like seamly. So like this, I think this top edge, we have to like, it's like where the rocks are like currently going like this. I think we need to have the rocks like literally come down exactly to that point, or at least I think that's what we want to be doing, if I recall correctly. Basically, like, exactly to here. So, oops. Pretty much exactly to this point. I'll come back and clean that up, because it's actually not going to be a dark top line. It's going to be a lighter top line. Right. So, what were we doing? Yeah. So now let's put in these shapes how we want them depicted, and like, it doesn't have to be like completely like boxy and then completely round. We can put in like some more round shapes here. Oops. Something like that. I don't know. Actually, not like that. More like that. Yeah. And then, heck, why not put one up here? Just cause. Alright, and then so, yeah, what are these outlines that don't have to be as like rigid, as like overt? Oh yeah, that's, wait, I think I have to like leave some of this stuff in here. Actually, and you know what I should do is I'm gonna see like let me sorry, I'm just gonna change this because I'm using like the same repeated shape and it just looks ridiculous. So I'm gonna put in like another right here. No, I'm just gonna get rid of this one. And actually, I will push it up against this other gap over here. I don't know why I keep going so low. It really doesn't have to sit that low, considering everything below the pink line is going to be invisible. And actually, stuff close to the pink line is going to be invisible a lot of the time too. So like, I really don't have to spend much time working on this form here. But let me even see like what this is going to look like, because it could be the case that this is actually still too much detail, or like I might have to change again. So just for starters, I'm going to saw off the top here. Actually, no, I'll do this well enough, because if I'm going to keep it, I don't want to have to do this like a million times over. So wait, hold on. Let's drop down the opacity here for a minute, and let's erase carefully around these edges. Oops, wrong there. Let's erase carefully around these edges. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be like pretty close to perfect. Almost exactly perfect, but not technically perfect. I'm exaggerating. Oops. Not like, for example, that would be something that's not perfect enough. Not sufficiently pseudo perfect. Here we go. Trace in lines, trace in lines, trace in lines. So I'm going around the outside edge, but I might actually want to go across the middle. Possibly. We'll see. I mean, I can always clean it up afterwards. But we have our basic shapes. And it's entirely in this upper range. Like, at no point do we drop down into the below this like divide here. It's kind of subtle. I can see this divide, but I guess it's like a green-red split, so it might not be as obvious to some people. But there's like just a subtle split here. That's what I keep referring to. I don't know. I'm putting too much care into the perfect fullness of these lines, considering the original lines were just drawn really haphazardly. And I basically have to touch them up anyways, so yeah, I should really just be moving it along. Alright. Alright, cool. Oh yeah, and this is the part that has to go perfectly against this edge, but whatever. Alright, so let's pick this up, delete it, and then I can just clean up that edge. Actually, no, you know what? Let's pick this up and increase the tolerance. Not quite that high. Yeah, that's good. Much simpler. Alright, so now let's try exporting this just to see how it looks. And of course we have to finish cleaning it up and making it into stuff. But yeah, actually, so the one thing that is obvious to me already is that we don't need nearly as many internal lines. Like, we just need to define the forms, and then a lot of the rest of it will just be automatic, because that's how we're dealing with the mountains mostly. So like, yeah, a lot of these lines are going away, or a lot of these lines will have to go away. Alright, so let's get rid of this for now, and this for now, and smoosh these together. And then save this as Mountains Trans Cave BG1. Yes. Save. Okay. Alright, let's rerun the script to see how this transition looks. Let's see if it's going to give us the effect that we are looking for. Oh, you'll probably notice that the cave to forest transition isn't done yet either. That's actually the next on the docket. So, oh, I don't know why I keep putting it down there. Yeah, as soon as I get the mountain to cave transition worked out, then that will be the next thing. And then after that is character art. So, good times. Ha! Excuse me. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I do have one theory. Oh, I should say alert, because it's just gonna like pop up here. All of a sudden, there it goes. Ah, look at it popping up. All right, so that's okay. Yeah. So, oh yeah, I didn't delete the top edge. I definitely have to delete the top edge. That's the big thing actually, and then the rest of it, like, it's kind of okay. So yeah, so this whole area is gonna be covered, and then here's the actual like cave transition, and so then yeah, all the rest of that stuff we only see from inside the cave. So, huh. Sorry, I was just thinking about something. Oh, you know what's funny? I'm doing way too much work. Is the first thing that's kind of funny. I think I'm doing. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. But like, I. So yesterday I was like specking out like how much of this, how big do these regions have to be in order to like sufficiently cover stuff up. But one thing that hadn't really occurred to me is this one here. Oh no, I did measure this one out. Yeah. No, I did. Okay, yeah. So right, so the reason this background is as it is because this is these pixels here are like the first pixel points at which we can see all the way through the background of the cave. Like, see how you can see through both layers? Like, you can see through the front layer of the cave, and sometimes you can see through the middle layer of the cave, and when those line up, you can see all the way to the back layer of the cave. Like, yeah, I actually did measure that out. This is the exact, not exact, but like pretty close to the first pixels that you actually see through the cave. Yeah, right. Okay, so I'm not doing too much work. I'm not overdoing it. I'm doing quite enough. Because I just like for this layer I just like filled in these regions, so like I don't even have to worry about it yet. Because like the background, like the furthest background of the cave actually isn't much more detailed than this, so this is actually pretty close to accurate. Actually, while I'm looking at it, I just remembered I have to get rid of. Oh yeah, well first I have to undo all the exporting stuff, whatever. Alright, and then yeah, on this layer I actually have to. One of the things I have to do is to get rid of some of this like junk that like extends off the top of the extends like yeah, because those little like bits and pieces that were like just flitting up were looking messy and whatnot. Alright, so sorry, I'm just gonna put this down here again. So yeah, alright, so now we can just now we can finish this out. So right, yeah, so the first thing that I noticed that looked weird was I remembered to erase the top area, but I did not remember to erase the top lines, because these lines don't have a precedent in the mountains. So actually, let me zoom in again. No top lines in the mountains. In the mountains, it's all like very flat shading. So anywhere these lines do not represent like an X. Well, honestly, actually, a lot of these lines are going to go away. But the first obvious one is that any place these lines represent an external shape or like an outline, they're certainly going away. Like an external outline, not like an internal outline. I'm probably not using the right terms for that, but basically, like, you know, the outline of like the silhouette, basically. Yeah. And then I don't know how much I'll have to get rid of. The nice thing about this shading is that it's pretty subtle. Like it's actually I guess I can continue that crack up to the edge. Because it's not representing an outline in that case. It's representing a crack. The nice thing about this layer is that the tones, like the shading tone and the base tone, like the light and the dark tones are both very, there's not a huge difference there. So the the detail that I have in here is actually pretty subtle. Even if it's too much, it might still be okay, because if it's not like in your face, like outrageous, then could still work. Could still be fine. All right, so now these circles are still a mess. So I'll do the circles first, and then I'll see what else it has to change. Some more of the stuff might have to change. Oh, and for example, I forgot to draw this line back in. So yeah, this one went like out like, wait, it went like, how'd it go? It went like a little further up, a little bit out, and then down. I think it's that one. So erase that. Hey, new follower! Last White Dance, welcome! Welcome to the party. Oh, sorry, I covered up chat and I wasn't looking at it. Like, you guys could see it because OBS was looking at it, but, yeah, sorry, Tom. I'm Space Cadet. Yes, you probably figured it out by now, but yes, I'm still working on art. It's going pretty well. Light at the End, the name of the broadcast today is a reference to the fact that I've been working on this cave tunnel thing for like the most of the week, and like finally we're now seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We're actually like emerging from the cave and working on other things. And also it's Friday, so at the end of the week, so I'm probably gonna go a little lighter today with what we're working on. It's gonna be a little more fun, a little less serious, down to business sort of stuff. So yeah, not that I'm ever particularly serious or down to business, but to the extent that I ever am, it'll be less than that. Alright, so first let's get rid of these ghost lines. Let's choose what shapes are in front, what shapes are behind. So this shape is definitely in front. This shape is definitely in front. These shapes are definitely in front. Frontsies. Which of these two should be in front? I guess this one has a greater precedence, because this one's in front of this one, which is in front of this one, so it kind of make more sense for this one to be in front, I think. This one's clearly in front. The rest of that seems okay. This one's clearly in front. This one's clearly in front of most of these, except for that one. This one isn't, of course, in front of that one. Actually, I guess this one could have been in front of that one, just to break up the whole left in front of right thing, but it doesn't really matter either way. Because these are both so close to the pink line that they're rarely going to ever actually be noticeable. And I think I do want this one to be in front, because this will break up the tyranny of things to the left being in front of things to the right. So it's not literally 100% of the time that way. And actually, a lot of these shapes near the bottom, I'll probably want to... Oh, wait, what's going on here? I forgot to erase this one. Honestly, like, the way the shading works... I might just defy the way the shading had worked otherwise. I might just leave it, like, roughly like this. I mean, not exactly like this. I'll like, fix up the shading a bit, but, I might leave it, like, not much different than this, because... I don't know, we'll see. Once I beef up the shading, maybe it will look better to decrease the shading too. Oh yeah, and this shape is so great, I think I'm gonna put in like a texture line to it. I don't know if I can get away with this stuff, but I'm gonna try. Worst case scenario, I find that I can't get away with it and have to get rid of it. Alright, so now I can, then now, yeah, this is probably fine. Although this is looking detailed too. Maybe it's getting to the point, like maybe I can like add in detail, like it starts out not detailed, but then it like becomes more detailed. Because once we get to this part, we're gonna, actually yeah, that I think that's actually true. Because once we get to, like technically this part will be covered up briefly by the less detailed part below it, briefly, or the less detailed part above it, briefly. But the that will, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, how it looks, what we like, what we don't. Yeah, I should probably just open it up for now. And then if, well actually, yeah, let's see if I even can get this effect to work. Because if I can get this effect to work, then that's fine. It's all gravy. Yeah, that's probably close enough. Oh yeah, and then finish the shading. Pass, so shading. Again, that's below the pink line, so it doesn't matter. I'm actually bring it up a little bit. This is actually more squat and oblong. Ignore the stuff below it. Yeah. And then yeah, this is shaded too. Because this is pretty well shaded because it's like inset. It's like way in the background. All right, and so then I guess I should probably do the same thing here. Should probably like beef up the shaded lines so that way we can get rid of those fake lines that don't actually really exist at all. And which ones are they? So yeah, which lines don't actually exist? I guess it's yeah the top lines that don't really exist. It's like this line exists only because there's a thing above it. Like if there was nothing here, it wouldn't exist. So like, for example, this doesn't actually technically have a thing above it. So like that. So like whereas this does sometimes have thing. Yeah, these actually do have lower lines, but like this, there's nothing above this, so that line goes away. And there's nothing above this, so that line goes away. Hopefully this will all still work. I mean the nice thing, oh, and this doesn't have anything above it, so it actually goes away. And actually this line goes away too, because there's nothing to the left of it either. So, I mean the nice thing about oh, this one goes away. The nice thing about, this one goes away. The nice thing about the mountains being, oh, that's, I don't know about this one. It's like quite an angle, like it's almost a top-facing line, but it's actually more, I think it's more like a right-facing line than a top-facing line. But then there's the fact that the sun is more above than it is to the left, so this line is like literally on the line. I don't know what to do about that one. I might just leave it like that and see how it goes. So now there's not much detail going on. Oh, you know what I could do with this is just to make it a little less ambiguous. Is I could just bring it down a little sharper. It doesn't have to be like a perfectly flat piece. So now it does have a line. Oh yeah, and then so what happens here? Oh yeah, so then this actually connects a little further over. Yeah. And let's sharpen these edges. And then yeah, let's see how this works. How this looks. Because this might be done. Hypothetically. Oh, except that we want to leave this gap right here. So what do we do with that? It's just like, wait, what? What layer am I on? What? Oh right. Oh right. This layer is not fully opaque. I was like, why does it not look like? Okay, that it is filled in. Oh yeah, I forgot the shading was darker. Oh, good. All right. So well, it's a good thing I lined it up because I made a whole bunch of mistakes in here too, which were not as obvious when it was not as. Oh, I can actually leave this dark line in here, but hold on. Let's put in a finer tool. I need to like perform surgery on these lines because this is supposed to be dark, but only because of the shading of the. Oops, wrong color, or wrong tool. Only because of the shading of the big thing in front of it, not because of the top line of the rock itself, which is a subtle distinction. Alright, so this might be good. Oh, maybe that's why the shading was so subtle and indistinct, because, oh yeah, so that line, so this line definitely doesn't work, at least not as it, oops, not more or less. This line definitely doesn't work as it is. I mean, it might work, but not how I'd drawn it there. Because it got too close to the other shading line. So so let's instead put it like I guess it'd be like more like here, if it's gonna work, which I don't know if it will. It might just be not necessary, but let's find out. I don't know. Whatever. No, bigger than that. Because like I don't know. It's supposed to be akin to this like cracky line over here. Just not quite as. It's not quite as much. I don't know. I'll pretend that that's fine for now, and I'll export it and see how this goes. Alright, so nuke this. It's a little weird that there's just like that part that juts out, but because I'm covering up everything to the pink line, that should be legit. I just kind of did it weird. Alright, so now let's smoosh these layers together. And save as. Mountain Transcave BG1. Yes. Yes. Alright, let's see how this looks. Oh, we just did the mountain transition. Let's do it again. Rerun the scripts. Oh, you know what else I could do? Yeah, just to make these transitions happen a little faster, I'm going to, excuse me. I'm going to start the, wait. Yeah, I'm going to cheat the, where is it? Cheat the layers. Oh. Just so we don't have to wait as long to watch the transitions every time I feel like watching the transitions. Oh yeah, hey, welcome. How's it going? Yeah, I think I can do this. I might accidentally ruin everything, but if I don't ruin everything, then this should work. So I'm gonna invert these 1600, 1600 and 0, and then I'm just gonna say because that's not, I can't quite do that because that's not exactly how it works. Thanks, Alia. I'm kind of a hobo. Look, Alia, look, I'm wearing fingerless gloves. I'm basically a hobo. What do you think? How's that? I'm actually wearing them because I can't stand when my hands get cold when I'm typing, or drawing for that matter. If I'm at a computer, I can't stand it when my hands get cold. But then also maybe I'm a hobo. I could be a hobo, right? I mean, I could totally be a hobo with these gloves. So. Alright, so scrolls and whatnot and stuff, and so BG, right, okay, so here we so BG's dot, no BG's index 1 dot scroll, I think, instead equals 0, 1600. Because this one has to be like this. The other ones can be the other way around. And that'll kickstart the transition. It'll only take half as long for Mitsuki. Hey, I unfortunately, Mitsuki, I don't make the hobo rules, so you could be you can be a space captain, or like we can come up with another title. But I actually that one Alia actually has authority over hobos, so I all right, that could also be true though. So you two might have to work that one out. I'm not exactly sure which precedents. Hey Buki, welcome. How's it going? Look at everyone who's here. Look at what a day this is. What did I do? Ruin everything, possibly? Hopefully not, but we'll find out. Alright, let me rerun the script. And hypothetically, this will start our mountain background halfway through, so we only have to wait half as long to get to the transition. Let's see if that worked. Should be happening really soon because of that time that we've cut down, if in fact that worked. So I think that slowdown in the frame rate also corresponds to when we're loading in the images. Excuse me. Well, if it did work, it still takes a while. All right, so here we go. Perfect. Ship it. I'm totally fine with that. I'm so fine with that. I find that so entirely satisfactory. Because then this whole space here, that's just like a brown block, and like this space leading up to the cave too will be more of the same. So, whoa. Man. Oh yeah, isn't it crazy? Oh, Alia language. Uh, yeah, isn't it like the end times over on that side of the continent? Like, just in terms of like the rainfall, I just caught like bits and pieces of it, but I guess I'm just really glad I'm not over there right now, because like it sounds crazy. If I was over there, I'd wear those little like swimmy floaty arms. Those little like inflatable things like you blow up and like they like, cause like I don't know, yeah. I mean I'm a pretty good swimmer, but like, just I wouldn't want to risk it, really. All right, I'm gonna call that good. I'm gonna call what we just did good, which is probably a generous way to describe what we just did. But I'm also not gonna worry about it for now. All right, so now we do a similar thing here. Is the next goal. So now for this entire green area, we want to do basically the same thing that we did before. So for this time, there's no pink zone. There's no like we do have to go all the way to the bottom of the screen. But oh man, stay safe. Stay as dry as you can. So yeah, we're still working on art stuff. We're cleaning up this transition between the mountains and the cave, because now we have a plan. Yesterday, like, it had not occurred to me like everything that I would have to do in order to make this transition work, because like I had like a few ideas for ways I could just like kind of like just wave my hand and like make it good enough. But then I realized like no, those ways that were like good enough were like just not good enough. We're close though. So now basically all we have to do is this whole green stretch that we have on screen right now, like this green stretch here. We have to do basically the same thing that we did here, which is basically just like we just have to make a big pile of rocks big enough to cover up this whole green area. So the only difference is there's basically no difference. That's the only difference. There's basically no difference is the only difference. Um, so, huh. It might look a little bit messy because there's gonna be parts where like the very tippy tops of